Today I'm putting together a Serger 4-thread industrial overlocker, or otherwise known as a Serger, and it's in this box here. I've also built the table up. If you're interested in knowing how to assemble one of these tables, I'll link a video up here. This one here is especially cut out for the overlocker machine, so it's custom made for this machine here. So let's take a look at what we've got in the box here. Okay, in the box of bits we've got the pitman rod that connects the foot pedal to the speed controller, part of the thread stand there, the waste chute, so when you're using a serger it trims the edge of the fabric and the trimmed portion goes down here, down this chute that attaches to the table, and then you can just have a little rubbish bin at the bottom there. A dust cover, more parts for the thread stand. If you're interested in how to assemble the thread stand, take a look at my video where I put together the Serger cover seamer. Here's the controller. It's the speed controller, oil bottle, spare oil filter, the mounting rubbers and bolts, bits and pieces, a couple of tools, screwdrivers, and we've got the base unit. So this here attaches to the table and the machine head sits down in here. This is the 351G series machine. We've got an instruction manual and parts list here, and a control system instruction manual as well. We've got some spare needles, tools, tweezers, a couple of wee spanners and things like that. Oil to put into the sump, and the machine head itself in here. I'll go ahead and mount the plate here, and then once that's done we can put the head into the table. So the way this works here is we have the tabletop here with the base plate. The base plate goes underneath and mounts to the bottom side of the table there, and these four holes line up with the these four holes in the base plate here. And then we get the Allen bolt here, one washer. We've got a vibration isolation rubber there, put that on, another washer, and then that goes through here, like that, and then this screws through the table, goes up through the one of the holes like that, and then we screw in this half of the, it's like an elongated nut, and that screws down onto the bolt there. You'll also see that it's got a square head that bites into the tabletop and stops this from turning. So I'll screw that as far as I can until it gets to where it starts to bite into the tabletop, right there, and I'll do the remaining three here. These here should pull down into the tabletop as I tighten the bolts there. I've got a couple of Allen keys that come with the machine. One of these should fit those bolts. A big one there. I'm just going to tighten the bolts up underneath there, and you'll see that pull down. It's not quite pulling down, so I may need to give that a tap down there. So just tap those down there, and then I'll go ahead and tighten these mounts underneath here, the Allen bolts. Go around and do those four. These are vibration isolation rubbers here, so that sits into the base there, and the machine head locates onto these pins on 3 of them. 1, 2 and 3. And then this one here doesn't have a metal pin, it just sits here on this left front corner here as a stabilizer. So this here attaches to the underside of the table here, and then this part here sits down on there flush like that. So I'll install that after I've put the machine head in. We'll see how it's positioned. There is a slight adjustment that can be made here before it's screwed into the table. That's the lower half there of the chute. I won't bother attaching that at this stage. So the next thing I'll do is attach the speed controller. That attaches to the underside of the table there, and then the pitman rod connects this lever here. That's your go switch. Connects that to the foot pedal. And yeah, just refer to the previous video on the Serger cover seamer if you'd like to see that. Yeah, basically the top of the pitman rod attaches to here. That's on the underside of the table, and that just lines up roughly so that the pitman rod is, you know, within cooey of being vertical, and that bottom end attaches to the foot pedal. I'll go ahead and assemble this thread stand. Okay, I think I can handle this one myself. It's not too heavy. Just a little bit awkward with the plastic bag on there. That's got it. So there we go, all mounted in position there, and we've got a quality control tag there, a little eye guard in case the needles break. So all I really need to do now is hook up the chain here for the presser foot lifter, and then we can thread it up and see how it goes. Just give you a look around the back here. So we've got a power cable tied onto the machine there. This is the cable from the speed controller, needs to be connected, and I'll cable tie that nicely under the table. Just feed that up through there, plug that in. I've attached the chain here, and I'll do the same on the foot pedal down here, and I'll take the slack up here. So we've got a chain that's a little bit too long. I'll adjust the presser foot lifting pedal roughly to around about the right height. That can be adjusted later to suit the operator. And then we just hook that link on there and let the other end just dangle down, that's fine. So the looper threads will go for red on the top looper. I'm using domestic thread here just because I've got it on hand. Normally you would use the cones here, the industrial style cones. Just there so you can see that, what I'm doing there. Pink through the top eyelet there, and then down to the secondary eyelet there. And then we'll swing the machine around. These threads here I will tie onto. For the needles, we can pull the knots through as far as the needle eyes. The knots won't go through the eyes of the needles, but the little knots will go through the looper eyes, so we can tie on and pull through to save us threading the loopers. I'll just do a basic knot. That's the lower looper, upper looper there. That'll be the inside needle, or the right needle. got the left or the outside needle. You can also use these machines as 3-thread overlockers. If you unthread one of the needles and remove the needle, you can use it as a 3-thread as well. And then we can turn the machine over, swing the presser foot out there, and we've got a little sample. There's a little oil soaked paper there to stop corrosion. So you can see the machine at the moment is threaded with the upper looper in blue, left needle in red, right needle in yellow, and the lower looper is threaded in green. So what I'll do is I'll pull the threads out from the needle eyes, just trimming them off near the needles there, and we can pull those threads through. It's a bit tight there. I'll release the tension here just to make it a little bit easier to pull those threads through there. Okay, and I'll just release the pressure on that, tension. So there's our two white needle threads there, which I'll thread up in a second. Now we can pull the looper threads through. Just give them a little bit of a helping hand here. There we go. Left needle there. Okay, so we can get the oil in here. Take this little sight glass cap off, and it shows you that the oil goes in here. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that very clearly, but you can see that the oil level is coming up. There's two lines in there. There's a red line, and that's the lower mark, and the green line is the upper mark. So we want to fill the oil until the dark area is up to the green line there. Just put the cap back on there. And when the machines run, we should see oil start to pump up through here. So that is a sight glass to show that the oil system is functioning properly. So if there's no oil being pumped through to the sight glass here, that's, you know, sort of similar to your oil light coming on in your car or your check engine light. It's not a good sign if there's no oil pumping there. So that's looking good there. There's also a manual oil point just here. Just a good idea to do every so often. Just a little drop of oil there. I've plugged the machine in, so power it on there, and we should be able to chain out. We'll get you a close look at the chaining here. This should chain out here now. Just like that. That's 5,000 stitches a minute, or 5,000 RPM. I'll do a quick test run down this piece of material here. There's a little seam here. Should be able to just trim that off. So lift the presser foot there, and you don't necessarily have to do that. you can feed the material in like so. And there we have, that's the bottom side, the red is the top side there. Yeah, so that's going very nicely. For reference, this model is the 351G-241M-24EA, and so the base model is a 351G. So that's about it for this one. I hope you found that interesting, and I thank you very much for watching.